Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you in the eighth inning, bottom of the eighth, 12-2 Rangers. Are you kidding me? Highest offensive output of the season high 12 runs scored. What is this offense? Who is this team? 12 runs, man. Please save some for the next couple of days. That's all I got to say. Save a couple of these runs for the next couple of days. Please. Please. Great to see this tonight, isn't it? It's been a while. I said during the game, I felt like I've been transported back to 2023, getting to watch that prolific offense go to work. Feels like 2023 right now, watching this team drive in 12. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. 17 hits. What is going on right now? What is life? Rangers up 12-2 on the A's in the eighth inning right now. And runners on second and third. Runners on second and third right now. Nick Ahmed in the ball game trying to make this actually bases loaded. My bad. Bases about to be loaded. My goodness. It is a fun night to be at the game. Shoot, all those people there, love it. Absolutely love it. Bases loaded. Nick Ahmed walks. So Kyle Higashioka, the only Ranger that hadn't got into the hit parade yet. Come on, Higgy. Get me in the hit parade. Let's go. 0 for 5 on the night. Higgy's due. Is he the only Ranger without a hit tonight? In the starting lineup, yes. Come on, Kyle. Strike one, called strike on a changeup. Oh, my goodness. Kyle Higashioka, 0 for 5, but every other Ranger looks like multi-hit. Josh Young and Kyle Higashioka and Wyatt Langford, the only starters not to go multi-hit today. Hey, whatever. It ends up turning into a 12-run game. I'll take it. I think they will too. Oh, this is nice. My goodness. Kyle Higashioka, he does it. He does it. Oh, bases clearing double. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Bases clearing double for Higgy. I said, get you in the hit parade, dude. You're the only Ranger without a hit tonight. 6 ABs, finally gets his first hit. Oh, I love it. It's that kind of night. Please save some runs for tomorrow and Thursday. Please. Can y'all believe that 6th inning, 8 runs scored? Oh, my goodness. Austin, I'm with you. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Blue Cheese, no mod right now, but appreciate it, bud. I don't have anybody being a mod on any of the channels. Maybe when it gets a little bigger. No need for a mod right now, but I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Natalie, I agree. This offense, where the heck this offense been all season? Oh, look, I know that it's one game. You got to start showing some consistency, but I'm just going to enjoy this one tonight, y'all. Lord knows I've spent enough time complaining about the offense, and rightfully so, I might add, but we're just going to have some fun tonight, enjoying this one, going through the box scores. Shoot, I love it. Love a night like tonight. Leote's 3 for 4 with a walk. Been on base 4 times. Oh, man. And that was it. It was kind of crazy because I read today, Evan Grant wrote up an article and he had interviewed Chris Young. And they basically in the interview uncovered, Leote's not playing right now, not playing a lot, and it's directly related to production. Chris Young coming out and saying that. So clearly there was a little fire lit under the team. I don't know if y'all heard, but Chris Young mandated that everybody had to be out on the field for BP before the game today. In this day and age, a lot of these guys have their individual hitting sessions. They have their guys that they work with, and not everybody's on the field for BP. So Chris Young mandates everybody has to be on the field at the same time for BP. You don't think CY lit into this team? I feel like he did. I don't know if it was a Bochy CY tandem, but you just got to think that Chris Young lit into this team yesterday, today, whenever it was. It just doesn't seem like a coincidence to me that the Rangers put up 12 runs right after this news comes out about Chris Young coming down on the team a little bit, making some changes, basically stating we're going to have to look at AAA, potentially see who could come up from AAA and be a contributor. If y'all haven't seen that article by Evan Grant that he put out today after talking back and forth with Chris Young a little bit, Rangers president of baseball operations, y'all got to go check it out. Chris Young ain't messing around right now. He ain't messing around right now. 28 relics. My thoughts exactly. Can we save some runs for Wednesday and Thursday? Right? Can we save a couple of runs here? Oh, man. Good stuff. Top of the ninth right now. And we have got, looks like ball game. The Rangers win this one 15-2. Awesome. Love to see it. Love to see it. We've got how many hits today? 18 hits today. By the way, double play ended the game. If I'm a little bit ahead of y'all, I'm sorry. But double play just ended the game. Dane Dunning, I'm glad he's able to finish this one out. Wasn't the sharpest today, but it was nice just seeing Dane back in the ball game, back on the mound in Arlington. I mean, call me sentimental, but I really am glad to see him back in a Rangers uniform. And obviously, he was just with the AAA team, but I'm glad to see him back, man. It's good to have some of the guys back from that 2023 season. Evan Carter's next. I'm going to love when Evan Carter comes back, hopefully in a groove and contributing to this Rangers team. But it was just a nice little boost, I thought, seeing Dane Dunning in the role that he was in tonight. He gives up a home run. He gives up 2 total runs. Let me see here. 2 total runs, 3 innings pitched. Look, not the worst outing in the world, but good to see him back. That's all we'll say. Good to see him back. So many of us are just so sentimental. We were talking about this on the show last night. So many of us are just so sentimental about the 2023 team, and I'm guilty of it. I love that 2023 team with all my heart for obvious reasons, and I know y'all do too. And it's hard when we think about potentially going different directions. You know, we've had a lot of things thrown out in the chat, in the live ideas. I've put out different trade potential. Y'all might have saw my video today. It's hard to think about moving on from some of these guys. And I just want so badly to see this team figure it out. I know that in my criticism and in all of our criticisms of the team, it might come across like we don't have that same love. We don't have that passion, that fire, want to see these guys do well. I think we all want to see these guys do well. Myself especially. It doesn't make me upset when Leody Taveras gets on base 4 times. It doesn't make me upset when Marcus Semien goes 3 for 4. I love it. I'm here for it. Now, I'm going to give you what my analysis and what my conclusion is of the situation and what I think the Rangers need to do. I'm not sitting up here sugarcoating everything. There's certain fans, I'm sure, that would love that kind of channel, would love that type of account. There's no negatives. It's all positives. We sugarcoat everything. We don't. We don't do that here at Right on Rangers. And y'all don't either, and that's what I appreciate. I want to see every single player in this lineup hit well. It doesn't matter if I've criticized them in the past. It doesn't matter if I've said the Rangers need to move on from them. If they're in the lineup and they're wearing that Rangers across their chest, I'm cheering for them. And I was very, very happy to do so 18 times and more, counting all the Jacob deGrom strikeouts. Man, was tonight a good night to be a Rangers fan. Jacob deGrom, let's talk about deGrom. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits. Dude allowed 4 base runners, and not even all of those hits were like legit squared up hits. Like some of those were very weak contact, just happened to get lucky. 4 base runners for Jacob deGrom today. 7 Ks. Y'all thought Jacob deGrom was washed, right? And I know I'm not talking to my Rangers fans when I say that, but I know y'all started to hear some of the chatter, some of the slander about Jacob deGrom. He started first maybe 3-4 starts, a little rocky. Dude hadn't been pitching full time since like 2023, hadn't had a full season since 2022. But yeah, he's washed because he had a few bad games or a few non-ace Jacob deGrom games. They weren't even like bad games. They just weren't the Jacob deGrom that we've all come to know, love, and appreciate. deGrom is back. deGrom's back. Whenever deGrom is on the mound, I was talking about this with my dad before the season began. And my dad, he just kind of wondered, is deGrom going to be the same guy? You've had 2 Tommy Johns. Are you going to be the same pitcher, the same ace out there? And my comment to him was, if Jacob deGrom is on the mound, he's going to be him. He is going to be good if he can stay on the mound. As long as that guy can stay healthy, he will give you ace potential. He will give you ace performances. And that is what we're seeing. I know a lot of people look at the Jacob deGrom contract and they might say it's a waste. They might say it's not living up to the expectations. Of course, we didn't want to see Jacob deGrom go down last year. But I consider it just another key, another piece in the whole picture. Winning a World Series, I don't think you can totally discount Jacob deGrom and the influence he may have had in 2023 on the pitching staff. I don't think you can discount that. Now, was deGrom throwing pitches in the World Series? No, he wasn't. But can you really sit around and say Jacob deGrom had zero impact in 2023? I think if you know and love the game, you know what I'm talking about. Jacob deGrom was working with some of our young guys. You know he was working with guys like Dane Dunning. You know he was working with some of our other bullpen guys, starting pitchers, sharing his knowledge. You know he was still being a leader. And so I think the contract, very well worth it. We won a World Series. He's probably helped a lot of different pitchers along the way on our staff. And now you're getting this from him. I would love to see Jacob deGrom in October in a Rangers uniform. I will be beside myself, so pumped for that first game. I believe it's going to be this year, y'all. I can't tell you how excited I am to see that dude take the hill, take the bump for us. Game 1, whatever playoff series it is. I'm so ready for that moment. Jacob deGrom, Rangers uniform, October baseball. Let's go. I get jacked thinking about it right now. Evo deGrom back-to-back in a playoff series. Gives me chills. I'm not being dramatic. I get chills thinking about Jacob deGrom and Nate Eovaldi back-to-back in a playoff series. Woo! I'm definitely hopeful that they can get back. I do think there's a long way to go, but I am hopeful that the Rangers will make it back to October. Maybe skip the wild card round. That might be getting a little bit greedy, but maybe skip the wild card round this year. That sure would be nice. I would love to see this vision come true. All right, y'all. I've been ranting and raving long enough. It's time to check the comments. Appreciate all y'all. Austin, that's what I said. This is Shades of 2023 tonight. Scott, what's good, man? Scott says, by the way, all my people on TikTok, I'm going to get to all y'all's comments. If you really want me to see your comment again, give me just a couple of minutes here. I'm going to get to some of the YouTube ones. Y'all know I do like every social media app when I stream. So forgive me. Be patient. Hang out for a little bit. I'll let y'all know when I'm specifically checking the TikTok comments. If y'all want to go back and forth amongst yourselves, you know what to do, but hang out just for a little bit. Let me catch up on YouTube, and then I'll let y'all know when I'm exclusively checking the TikTok comments, so that way I don't miss what you have to say, because I want to hear from all y'all after a win like tonight. We got to hear from everybody tonight, y'all. All right, here we go. The comment says, I think we saw that our record was the same as the A's, 15-14, right? And so we had to wake up. I hope so. Rangers looking around. What are we doing? We're 15-14. We were best record in the American League like 5 days ago. What are we doing right now? I'm glad they woke up. I really do think the CY chat, we'll call it a friendly chat from Chris Young over the course of the past 2 days, I think it lit a fire. I really do. After leaving the bases loaded in the first, John, what's good, by the way? John says, after leaving the bases loaded in the first, I thought we were heading to another low-scoring game. Yeah, I did too. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. We stranded the bases loaded early, and it was like, here we go again. I was not a believer until it was about 4-5-0. And I thought, okay, we might end up breaking this one open. It took like 4-5-0 before I really started collectively thinking, all right, this one's in the bag. I felt pretty good with deGrom on the mound. When it was 4-0, I did think to myself, there's no way we're losing this game with deGrom on the mound. I'm glad the Rangers created some separation so he did not have to go any longer than what he did. If you cannot tax Jacob deGrom right now, that is the best strategy. We keep going. I want to believe 28 Relics, this is gold, man. The comment says, I really want to believe this stream and our comments move the needle. That's what I want to believe too. We heard enough noise, we got enough chatter going, and we moved that needle just a little bit. Just a little bit. 28 Relics, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Evo and deGrom in a playoff series is going to be straight nasty, filthy. Insert whatever adjective you want. I cannot wait for a playoff series with those two guys throwing game 1 and game 2. Woo! Keep going. Base running error by Adolis. Yeah, at the beginning, look, I'm going to try. I told y'all we're going to try and keep it mostly positive on the stream tonight. Does that mean we won't be critical at all? We'll get into it a little bit, but let's not stew on anything tonight that wasn't done perfectly. There's some things that I've got in my mind too. I'm going to mostly keep it positive tonight. But yes, the Adolis Garcia base running error in whatever inning it was, the second, the third inning, was terrible. And that's all I'm going to say. I cannot even believe that happened. You've got a perfect bunt. Let's talk about the positive. Perfect bunt from Leote. This is why I was going freaking crazy when they did not pinch hit Kyle Higashioka for Leote Taveras when they were trying to bunt in the 9th inning to get guys to second and third. I have no clue. After watching Leote bunt this season, he's a new man in that department. I have no clue why you didn't pinch hit Kyle Higashioka for Leote Taveras to bunt exclusively in that moment back in San Francisco last weekend. Makes even less sense. Kind of like the Dolly base running error. It didn't make sense to me. I'm glad that it didn't even matter in the end. Rangers are now 11-1 when they score 4 or more in a game. The magic number is 4. The magic number is 4, y'all. Adam, what's good? Adam's comment says, finally an offensive show. They need to keep this going. Leote is still shaky in center field. Look, quickly, yeah, I don't get the ground ball yips with Leote. It's like you get a ground ball out to center field. It looks totally harmless. The camera even pans away from Leote because it's such a routine ground ball to the outfield. The cameraman isn't expecting any kind of error to even be remotely possible. So camera goes ahead and pans somewhere else and then quickly has to pan back because Leote's booted a routine ground ball. I don't get it. I don't know what all the trouble is suddenly with Leote Taveras and ground balls out in the outfield. Again, not going to get too negative or stew too much, but yeah, it baffles me as well. It really does. Rangers watched the Stars last night and said, okay, that's what we need to do. Yeah, times like 3, times like 5, my goodness, scoring 15 runs tonight. Shoot. It is kind of crazy. I was actually just looking at this, John. No home runs tonight. Although Wyatt Langford came close. Y'all saw that, right? Wyatt Langford missed a home run literally by like that much. It felt like it looked kind of at first glance like maybe it just kissed the outside of the foul pole. I mean, that didn't miss by much. Wyatt got all that pitch, by the way, but it is crazy. No home runs tonight. Langford is my man crush. Yes, sir. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite Rangers. It's hard not to love him. The hustle, the power, the contact, the speed. There's just so much to like about Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford and Josh Smith are getting closer and closer to Corey Seager on my list of current favorite Rangers. Man, it was kind of fun seeing Langford in the leadoff spot, huh? I did like that the move considering Corey Seager's out. When Corey Seager's out, I still like Wyatt Langford hitting in front of Corey Seager a little bit better. Hear me out. You've got a lot of teams that are going to want to pitch to Wyatt Langford to avoid getting to Corey Seager. If you've got 2 outs, a base open, and Wyatt Langford's up with Corey Seager behind him, nobody's going to want to pitch around Wyatt Langford to get to Corey Seager. That's why I love Wyatt in the 2 spot when Seager is healthy. You want Seager protecting Wyatt Langford, and then the hope is you can put somebody behind Seager that is maybe not quite at Wyatt Langford's level, but maybe slightly below. I think they're looking right now for a 4-hole. I think they're looking for a reliable cleanup spot. Maybe it's Jonah Heim. Shoot, like, why not at this point? I'm not a big fan of putting Doley back there. I wonder if this performance tonight, he had a couple of hits. I wonder if it's going to make a difference. But you do have to find somebody that can hit behind Corey so teams don't just straight up walk him. But I love Wyatt Langford hitting in front of Siegs. I really do. Yep, Stars are impressing me as well, I must say. I've got my eye on the Stars games. Y'all know, being out here in Vegas, having lived out here for a long time, I do enjoy cheering for the Knights. 2017, very first season. Hard not to cheer for them. Organic team like that, not like a team that moves cities. But the Stars, a team that I cheered for throughout my childhood, high school, college, basically until the Knights became a team, came into existence. So love the Stars. Love the Knights. I know the Knights and the Stars have had some battles over the years. It's been emotionally tough for me in those series, but the Stars are doing great right now. Knights are doing pretty well as well. I think they're winning 2-1 right now. So I wonder if those 2 teams are going to end up matching up again. Seriously. Adam, what's good? Josh H. Smith, best player on the team, in my opinion. Man, I got to go Wyatt Langford right now. Josh Smith, close second. I mean, it's close. It's very close. In fact, they're batting .319 identical. Each player batting .319. Langford does have a little bit higher OPS, though. Langford's at 1037. Josh Smith is at 860, but they literally have the same batting average, .319. So it's pretty close. I mean, kind of take your pick at this point. All right, TikTok. Let me see what y'all got right now. Let me see what y'all got. Kyle, what's good, by the way? Appreciate the comment. I'm happy right now as well, bro. We got to savor games like this where we score 15 freaking runs. Luke, is the offense back? I'm not going to say back, but I love what I am seeing right now. I love it. How could you not, though? How could you not? All of y'all are telling me that Evan Carter is raking in AAA right now. What did he do tonight? I got to get to MILB right now. What did Evan Carter do tonight that's got all y'all talking about him? I haven't checked the box score down there for Round Rock yet, so let me see. Evan Carter tonight, 2 for 4 with a triple. I do like seeing that. Righty or lefty starter for the opposing team? Righty starter. Okay, hey, whatever. You know, I don't think the numbers are great against lefties, but if they're improving against righties, I'll take it for Evan Carter. Evan Carter, 2 for 4 tonight with a triple. That'll work. Fire Adolis. He had a pretty decent stat line at the end of today's game, but he did have a couple of head-scratching decisions in this one. Yeah, Dolly, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits. Believe he had a double and a single. Yeah. Look, a few head scratching decisions for Adolis. Zach, appreciate that comment, man. I love going live during the games. It's definitely something that I want to continue to do throughout the season. There are some times where, for whatever reason, I'm just not able to make it happen. But it is fun going live in the 8th inning and the 9th inning. I do think it's something I'm going to do a lot this year. Save some for Sunday. Bob, that's what I'm save some for the rest of the week. Please. This is more runs. I mean, this is like the more runs than the Rangers have scored in like the past week combined. I mean, I'm not like exaggerating there. I think that's got to be pretty close. 15 runs tonight. That feels like more runs than they scored in all the games that they had last week combined. Eddie, what's good, man? Appreciate that. Shane, yes, sir. They did need this win. Higgy, man, he did come through. I was willing him, man. The only starter without a hit, and then he comes through with the bases clearing double. I love it. 1 for 6 with 3 RBI. Let's go. Got to take the dubs when you can. I hope that they can keep this rolling tomorrow. Gary, what's good, man? That Little League World Series home run against the Giants, not our finest moment. I will agree with you there. Leote O. Smith beer. Yeah, Leote's bobble, and then Smith with the clutch, still continuing to apply the tag. That was nice. That's why they train him now. It's not my favorite thing, you came off the base for a second, you were clearly safe, but you came off the bag for a second, so you're out. I know some people love it. I'm not the biggest fan. I'll take it when it benefits my team, but kind of like going back to that Wyatt Langford play that ended the game a couple weekends ago. I don't love your making these big time reviews and calls where a guy comes off the base for a fraction of a second. I don't know, y'all. It's tough. Tonight's a little bit different. I will say it's a little different than when it's like a steal attempt. I will say that. But Leote definitely owes Smith something, for sure. Roger was good, man. Yep, get this W. They did. Carter, I do think, Gary, I agree with you. I do think Carter eventually gets back up to the big leagues. I've said late May or early June, he'll be back. I do think that is going to happen. I feel like it will happen sooner rather than later, especially if guys don't figure it out. Like tonight, obviously, everybody looked good tonight. But now you got to be consistent. We'll see what happens. We'll see what keeps up and what doesn't. But I do think Evan Carter will be back within a month. Keep going. Are we back, chat? Michael, what's good, man? I sure hope we're back. Gary, yes, sir. The 2023 team, we love every single one of those guys from the 2023 team. Jankowski, Grossman, the guys that aren't around anymore, Garvsauce, love all those dudes. I want everybody from the 2023 team that's still on the team in 25 to do well. It's what makes it tough when we're struggling offensively and guys who struggled last year are still struggling this year, and you just so badly want them to break out and they're not doing it, and you got to start thinking about alternatives. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody. I don't. I will say this. I'm popping over back and forth a little bit, but I will say Seager back in the lineup. I think that this is going to be something that really determines how drastic the moves are moving forward. When Seager gets back, how is this lineup going to continue to perform? Right? John, I'm with you. You can see the potential with the lineup, and with Seager, I think there's a lot of potential. I don't think they're going to be making any drastic moves until Seager returns, and you can really see what the lineup looks like with Seager in that 3-hole. I'm assuming maybe they move him back to 2, but I'm assuming that they're going to keep Seager in the 3-hole, kind of go back to that lineup a week ago today where you had Seager 3, Wyatt Langford 2, Josh Smith hitting 1. That would be my hope, and that would be my best guess. we'll see how this lineup looks with Siegs back in it. Appreciate the follows, by the way. Yeah, Brad, agree with this. Gotta be better situationally, still gotta be better moving runners over. In fact, that was kind of a deal with what CY mandated today for the team. If you didn't catch it earlier, Chris Young, president of baseball operations for the Rangers, mandated that the entire team be on the field for batting practice at the same time. And it was to work on things like situational hitting, and there were other parts of that as well, other factors and other things that played into that decision too. But that was one of the big things that was noted: situational hitting. CY, you've got to think with what he put together in the offseason, a lot of us thought looks like a pretty good lineup. In fact, there were pundits all around baseball that thought that this Rangers offense was going to be one of the best in baseball. You know, CY's got to be beside himself. Dude's a former pitcher. He knows what it's like to dominate and then watch your offense do completely nothing, and just the frustration of that. So I can't imagine that he is going to be putting up with the lack of offensive production for much longer. Clearly, tonight is a good step forward, but we've got to see consistency. But it's not a surprise to me. The team gets a fire lit under them, and you get a result like this. It needed to happen. Leote truthers, stand up. I can't say I'm a Leote truther. I'm glad that he had 3 hits tonight. I wish that he could field ground balls better in the outfield, but you know that the Leote truthers will be out in full force tonight in Rangers chats, threads, all across the internet. deGrom was out here painting. He was painting tonight. Like the slider, he had one. It was in the inning where he struck out the side. And did he have multiple of those, by the way? I know he struck out the side at least once. Did he do it twice? Anyways, one of them, it was just an absolutely filthy slider, outside corner, lowest part of the zone, like pinpoint accuracy, nothing you can do. deGrom, I love Jacob deGrom and watching him pitch. It is a treat every time he's out there on the bump. Dude's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It is a joy watching him throw that baseball. We keep going. Yeah, Evan Carter looking good in AAA. Dunning had me scared for a second. Clayton, yeah, I wish that Dane could have come in and just thrown up maybe 1 run only, not 2, and not all the hits. And I know he walked some too. You've got to think coming back to Arlington, maybe a little bit of nerves there. Who knows? I know maybe that sounds weird just based on the fact that he's pitched there so many times, but it's your first start back after being demoted, after being DFA'd. I mean, some other team could have claimed Dane Dunning. They didn't. And then he went to AAA. Dane could have easily been wearing another team's threads. He got outrighted to AAA, pitched pretty well there, and now he's back. I do wonder if nerves maybe play a little part of it. Maybe. deGrom is the stud, absolutely. I'll be more confident in the offense if they can do it versus the Mariners. You're supposed to beat the A's. Although we've talked, the A's have got some quality hitters, man. As I watch this A's lineup, yes, there are some guys that are clearly subpar, but you look at a guy like Brent Rooker, Lawrence Butler has impressed me. Langoliers is always a Rangers killer. I know what you mean. I'm not saying that the A's are incredible, but what I am saying is I think they've got some young talent. I could see them surprising some teams this season. In fact, I told y'all in the offseason, it's not going to shock me if the A's flirt with 500. And that's what they're doing right now. Right? They're 15-15. It's not going to shock me if the A's kind of just hang around. I'm not saying that they're going to go on some crazy run and be in first place when we look up in June, but I just think they're going to be one of those pesky teams that you look up in July and, hey, they're only a few games under 500. I feel that way about the A's. I don't know if I'm going to be right, but I just think they've got some young, talented players. The guy pitching tonight, Lopez, was this his debut? The guys on the broadcast were talking like it was his major league debut. I didn't think that I got that right, but I'm going to check on this. It was his No, it wasn't his debut. This is like his 12th start. Actually, it was his third start of his major league career. He's pitched in 12 games. So, look, pretty green, right? But the way that they were talking about him on the broadcast just made it seem like he had never pitched in a big league game before. We keep going. Astros beat Detroit 6-4. Sure would have been nice. Let's go to the scores around the league. Now that y'all are bringing up the Astros, I got to check out everything else. Seattle and the Angels are beating up on each other. Seattle's up 3-0 in the 7th. What else we got? A's lose today, obviously. What did the... Okay, that's it then. If the Astros won. So what are the standings? Astros won. Mariners might win. Standings are Seattle first place, and they will be up a game and a half on the Rangers if they win. Rangers are a half game behind the Astros, and they're up a game on the A's and 2.5 games on the Angels. Okay, there you go. So I guess go Angels. Sorry, Eric. Sorry, Eric, but I guess go Angels, right? If the Mariners lose, the Astros would be in first place, or it would actually be a tie, Mariners, Astros for first place. Each team would be 16 and 13 if the Angels can come across a few runs here late. Evo in October is different. Jocktober could be different too. I know we didn't see Jock Peterson today. I think that there's probably some room for improvement. I think we're seeing it. I feel like Jock's going to come around. I could be wrong. I might need to eat crow later, but I feel like Jock is going to come around. I don't think that he can be this bad for an entire season. I'm not really going to care about his box score. I just want to see him start piecing together some good games. And he's been hitting the ball hard. The approach looks better. And if we can get Jocktober in session along with Nate Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom starting games, could get scary. We keep going. Garcia did look better today. Some of the approaches looked a little bit better. Yes, he struck out twice still. It was just good to see him get some hits. Appreciate the follows, by the way. Huge game today. Absolutely. Great game. Hard Chuck, what's up, man? Cripple King, do I think that they send Dunning tomorrow? Send him down? Send him down like that? I don't know. We'll see. I think that Dunning definitely is going to be a guy that they're going to use at different points this season in a multitude of roles. I think easily he can be a long relief guy. If there are injuries or things get crazy in that department, you know he could slide back in the rotation. I don't know how much up and down he's going to be doing between AAA and the big league club, but I hope Dane can stick around. I really do. Really do. Berger can be our cleanup. Maybe Jock. I think Jock ideally is the guy that hits behind Seager when there's a righty starter. So ideally, if Jock is back to his usual against righties, I do think you want to go Josh Smith, Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager, Jock Peterson. And then in the 5 spot, I'd probably go Josh Young, Marcus Semien, 5-6. Maybe Semi 5, Josh 6. I like Doley hitting lower in the lineup. I just don't think you're going to get consistency from him. So I'd much rather see Adolis hit 7th, hit 8th. I think that when you look at Jock Peterson, Marcus Semien, when you look at Josh Young, I trust those guys more than I do Adolis right now. So I'd rather have them hitting in any combination of 4, 5, 6. If Jock's going right, I think you want him in cleanup. You want him in cleanup. There might be some teams that still pitch around Seager to get to Jock. But I do think Jock in the cleanup spot, probably the best move. Probably the best move. Keep going. Josh Smith in cleanup? Nah, not a big fan of that. If Josh Young could be the guy, Gary, I would like that. I do think Josh Young could be one day a really, really good cleanup hitter. I really do think that that would be the long-term goal. Right now, don't know if I'm ready to go cleanup hitter at this point. Let me see what we got. Tomorrow, good pitching matchup. What is the matchup tomorrow, by the way? Pitching matchup for tomorrow. Let's check it. Jack Leiter tomorrow or Evo tomorrow? Evo Severino. Evo Severino. That will be a pretty good one. Look, Severino is good. Evo's better. I like our chances. And I like the fact that we get to have our righty lineup in there. The lefty lineup to me, like I know we went back to back against lefties. The lefty lineup is not my favorite. Not my most favorite. It worked tonight, but I would much rather see our righty lineup. So good matchup. We'll preview it in a little bit here. Should we trade for an actual closer? I'd like to see them reinforce the bullpen. I would. So Ryan Helsley comes to mind. I talked about him today in the video I put out. I'd love for the Rangers to consider going and getting Ryan Helsley. I do think that the Rangers need to consider going out and getting a bat. I think they are one bat away. Maybe the guys that they have right now, if you get like everybody starting to click, but I would like a little insurance. I'd like to see them go get a bat at the deadline or sooner. And the guys that I mentioned, I think the most natural fit is probably a Marcell Ozuna, DH for the Braves. If the Braves can't figure it out, and that's a big if because it's so early in the season. The Braves are 14-15 right now. It is a competitive NL East, but we'll see what happens with the Braves. But Ozuna is on the last year of his contract. I think he would be a really natural fit. A guy like Bo Bichette, I really like Bo Bichette's game. I was watching him today for a little bit before the Rangers game. I like he's a contact hitter. He just strikes me as a really pure hitter. He's in the last year of his contract. And then the big one, maybe the not so obvious fit, but still somebody that I think that the Rangers should keep their eye on is Nolan Arenado. I've been a big Arenado fan for really his entire career. Love the way he plays the game. Loved that he spited the Astros in the offseason. So wouldn't it be even more poetic that he comes to the Rangers in a trade? Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, well, what do we do with Josh Young? I kind of say to myself, worry about the fit later. Just get good hitters in the lineup. Like, we'll figure out where Josh Young and Nolan Arenado fit. Just get good players in the lineup. And some people were kind of asking me, well, what do you do with the whole luxury tax thing? There are some guys on this team that you can trade to get below the luxury tax. Ozuna's making $16.5 million. Bichette is making $11.5 million. Arenado would be the hardest one to swing. He's making like $24 million a year. But John Gray's making 13. Leote's making 5 or 6. If you traded those two guys in separate trades, you're $18.5 million free and clear. You've got room to go out and add a guy that has a little bit of a bigger contract. So I'd like to see the Rangers make some kind of splash with bats, with offense. The bullpen would be great. I'd love for them to go get a Ryan Helsley or another arm that can solidify the back end of the bullpen. But I don't know if they are going to like the price that some of these teams are probably going to be putting out there. I mean, Ryan Helsley would be a half-season rental. All the players that I just named as well. Besides Arenado, I think Arenado still has a couple years left on his deal. But Bichette, Ozuna would be rentals. So you could have to balance. Who are you going to give up? What's the value, etc. Keep going. Don't be surprised if this team gets hot. I hope so. Sure hope so. JJ, what's good? Hey, I'm glad you were at the game. Glad you were at the game. Excellent. I'll take credit for today's win. Hey, dog, what's good, man? What do I think we'd have to give up for Bo? I don't know. I think the two guys, to me, I mentioned just a couple. I'm sure that there's some other guys that are in the mix too. But I think you're probably giving up a couple of prospects that are maybe 2027 ready. I think Walcott's untouchable. I don't think there's any way that they're ever trading Walcott. Richard, appreciate the comment, by the way. I just don't see any way that they trade Walcott. I do think a guy like Rosario down in Frisco, I do think a guy like Osuna down in Frisco as well, I think those guys might be tradable. I think Walcott is probably your untouchable at this point, but I do think some of the big names in AA, guys that got the roster invites for spring training, I do think some of those guys are going to end up potentially being on the block. It just depends on who you want to go out and get, right? Just depends. Keep going. Don't be surprised if Evan gets hot and eventually leads off for this team. That would be nice. That would be real nice. Bats did get going today. Kai, what's good, man? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Watch them Astros. They taking over the West, about to be leading the division. Enjoy it while it lasts, Michael. Enjoy it while it lasts. Don't get too excited. Evan hit a triple, had 1 RBI today. Rangers 1572. What's good? Thanks for tuning in. Baddest Salmon. Yes, sir. Great win tonight. Y'all need to trade Jock. I don't think that Jock's getting traded. Jock is only getting traded if the Rangers are like 15 games below 500 at the trade deadline. Maybe. Jay, appreciate that compliment, man. Thank you so much. And thank you to all y'all. The comment was, love the post-game content. Thanks, man. Look, you guys help make this show good. I got to say, I've got plenty that I can spit out to y'all. I can go on and on about the Rangers. I think that y'all have gotten that vibe. If you've watched the show long enough, I can go for a while, but y'all help keep the show fresh. So y'all make this great too. I appreciate it. What arms do we give up though? Well, Rosario would be one of those arms, right? Rosario, pretty good righty down at AA. He's got some upside. I do think he would probably be one of the arms that you give up. I was kind of looking for some obvious choices. It just depends on who you're going to go get, though. Like, who are you going to go get? Like, to get a guy like Arenado, which is going to be complicated with the money thing if you don't want to go above the luxury tax. To get a guy like Arenado, you are going to have to give up some prospects. Now, the thing about Arenado is he's not a free agent after next season, so you're getting multiple years of him. Again, I know we have Josh Young. I'm not saying you get rid of Josh Young. I'm just saying you get Nolan Arenado's bat in the lineup and you figure it out later. I would love to get a guy like Nolan Arenado. Think he's a gamer, Gold Glover, and can you imagine the presence he would have as well? You got another solid veteran guy. Dude rakes when it matters. Just had a walk-off grand slam, a few days ago against the Brewers? Look, I also know there's other guys like Luis Roberts available. There's a couple other dudes. Carlos Correa has been talked about as potentially being a trade chip. I just looked at the guys that are legitimately hitting well. And Ozuna, Bichette, and Arenado are actually hitting well right now this season. That could change by the time the trade deadline rolls around. But I wasn't about to come to y'all with Luis Roberts' sorry stat line. Dude's hitting like 180 right now. We don't need any more 180s. We need Nolan Arenado, Marcell Ozuna, Bo Bichette numbers in our lineup right now. Jeff, that could maybe work. That's, I think, honestly, the only thing that you might do. Jeff's comment was, if you do get Arenado, if you go try and get him, could you move Josh Young to first base and maybe dangle Berger in trades? Yeah, you could. You definitely could. And Young and Berger, I think, are on similar tracks, are they not? In terms of controllability, like they are each controlled, I think, a similar time frame. Maybe one's a little bit ahead of the other. So maybe that might be the obvious fit if you're not losing Josh Young and you're adding Arenado. Again, I'm just saying, get the bats in the lineup and figure out the fit later. Just give me Nolan Arenado hitting cleanup. I mean, behind Corey Seager. I'll figure out where Josh Young fits later in the lineup. For now, just give me Marcell Ozuna, Nolan Arenado, Bo Bichette in this lineup. We'll figure out how they fit later on. I do think the Rangers need to make a splashy move for a bat at the deadline. They really tried last year to just sit back. Oh, these guys are going to figure it out. We just won a World Series. These guys are going to figure it out. We don't need to go out and spend a bunch on a bat, wasting prospects. I think that this year is the year where you get a little less sentimental. No, they might not figure it out. Let's go get a bat just to be sure that this lineup continues to perform at a high rate if we have any guys that continue the slide or don't have consistent success. Yeah, Jeff, I'm with you. I don't want to get rid of Josh Young. I think the only thing you can do if you get Arenado is you move Josh Young to first base. Or I don't think Nolan is probably going to go for this. You try Nolan somewhere else. But honestly, Josh Young has a pretty good glove. I don't know if he's Nolan Arenado good right now. But I totally think in the short term, you have Arenado for a couple more seasons. You can always move Josh Young back to third base when Arenado's contract expires or when he gets up to that age point. If he were to re-sign with the club and stick around for a little longer, you can always have that tough conversation, much like they might have to do with Corey Seager at some point. But I think you figure out the fit later and you just get the good quality bats in the lineup. Keep going. I actually think, Hunter, that Marcus is at a pretty good spot. I think if you can keep him at 5, 6, I really like him there. I think he's looked better since moving into the 5 or 6 spot. Oh, you got the Whataburger Jake Burger hoodie? Man, I'm telling y'all, I miss all of these promotions, going to ball games. Like, it makes me sad missing out on them. That's why I do try and make it a point, and I probably spend too much money doing it, although some of y'all and some of my buddies are generous and will hook me up from time to time. But y'all see my Josh Young bobblehead. I got that. It was my birthday a few days ago, so the wife ordered me the Josh Young baseball card bobblehead. I love collecting stuff like this. It's great. Super, super nerdy with my big collection of bobbleheads and baseball memorabilia, but I don't even care. I love it. So I'm jealous. Jealous, man. Brad, have fun, man. Have fun at the game. That's going to be awesome. Anytime you get to see Evo or deGrom pitch, do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Buy the ticket. Go watch 2 Hall of Famers deal. Seriously. Yeah, John, I'm with you on this if you're still hanging out. There were some long ABs for us today. I think it took Lopez 60 pitches to get 6 outs. Like, you're talking about 10 pitches per out. Rangers were definitely working the count today. They had the most walks they've ever had in a game this season. It was awesome. The approaches were much, much better today. They're going to want major league guys depending on the bat. Maybe. But I do think in that trade, if you do go get Arenado, you could probably offer a guy like Leote with prospects, and I think that would probably be enough. I really do. I would have to look back at that Arenado trade. That is what I'm kind of interested in to get a gauge on this. So let me see if I can look up the Arenado Houston trade real quick, just to see what Houston was giving up for him. I don't know if it's going to be... it might not be something that I can figure out, but I'll see if I can. AI is not helping me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it on the live, but I just wonder, what was Houston giving up for Nolan Arenado? And that would help me to understand what we would probably have to give up to get him. And I don't even know if we're on his list, because Nolan Arenado has a list of teams that he's willing to go to. I don't know if Texas would be on it. I don't know why we wouldn't be, honestly. I think the reason he didn't want to go to Houston, he said, was because of how they had traded Kyle Tucker, which I totally get. So I don't know what problem he would have with the Rangers organization. And I don't know why he wouldn't want to come to Texas, but that might be the only thing holding it up. And then, of course, what you're going to have to give up for him for sure. I don't know if Arenado is what we need either in Texas, but I will say this. We need bats. How picky do you want to get? That's my thing. And when I throw these things out there, Clearly, they're a little bit half-baked. I haven't done all the research. I just look at guys that have the potential to be traded, who would work well in Texas in our lineup. And I think a guy like Arenado would be great in this lineup. I don't know how you could deny that. Like, who says no to having Nolan Arenado protecting Corey Seager? I mean, I don't know how you couldn't get in line or be supportive of a move like that. Maybe if you're trading a bunch of really, really good prospects or players and it's an unfair trade. But I don't know. This is a win now team. I think we've got to make sure that everybody's got that baseline, right? Like, we have 2 or 3 years of Jacob deGrom and Nate Eovaldi. Like, you do not have time to waste. You don't have a season or two to waste. You've got to win now. You've got a World Series caliber pitching rotation, and they're not getting any younger. So if you've got to spend a little bit more than what you want, giving up prospects to maximize this window, I think you do it. You've got 2 years left of Evo, 3 years left of Evo, 2 years left of deGrom. Like, it's not a forever window, and we're assuming that Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, these young guys are going to become bona fide aces, or that we're going to attract a crazy good starting pitcher in free agency. Right now, the goal of the team has to be maximizing what you have, with Jacob deGrom and Nate Eovaldi being the nastiest 1-2 punch in baseball. And so, in general, I am always on the side of trading prospects to get major league ready now players, all-stars like Ozuna, Arenado. I'm willing to part with prospects to maximize the window. Some people love prospects. If you love prospects and it's all about the future for you all the time, we're not going to agree. We're just not. But you have got a 2 to 3 year window with deGrom and Evo, and you've got to maximize it. So if you've got to deal Osuna and Rosario, maybe overpay a little bit to maximize the window, I don't think you hesitate to do it. There's no guarantees that prospects end up coming up and killing it. There's no guarantee. And that's a big reason why I'm more on the side of win now versus wait it out. Because sometimes you wait it out and you miss your opportunity. Look at Leody Taveras. I think this is the perfect example. Leody Taveras was the top prospect in the Rangers organization for multiple years. He was untouchable. Nobody wanted to trade him. He could have been traded. In fact, I wonder, what could we have gotten for peak prospect Leody Taveras at different times and at different points way back when? That's a perfect example of you held on to a prospect thinking that they were going to become a superstar. And I know there's some Rangers fans that still think Leody is going to become a superstar. So again, we can agree to disagree. I'm being serious. There are some people that vehemently defend Leody to the death. I respect it. I don't agree with it. But think about what we could have gotten for peak prospect Leody Taveras. But you held on to him because the future. Like, at some point, you got to be willing to deal a prospect and overpay a little bit to win now. And that is what I would like to see the Rangers do at this deadline. Keep going. Appreciate all y'all. Walcott and Teodo, the only untouchables for me prospect-wise. Jeff, I totally agree. I don't want to trade Teodo. I don't want to trade Walcott. I'm willing to trade pretty much everybody. Everybody else. Nobody else is a big untouchable for me. If we can win now and win another World Series in 2025 or win another World Series in 2026, you do it. You've got to maximize. I can't say it enough, y'all. I know I'm a broken record right now. You've got to maximize Nate Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom. You cannot let offense be the reason why you don't win a World Series this year. You have got two of the best pitchers in baseball, and you happen to have one pitcher in Nate Eovaldi that has consistently shown you dominance in October. I know Jacob deGrom hasn't had the same track record per se, but I have no reason to think that Jacob deGrom won't be dominant in October. Maximize the time that you have with both of those pitchers. Willing to split Evan Carter and Adolis in right? Yeah, I think that's probably going to be what happens eventually. Golden rule, I'm totally with you. Prospects are a 50-50 shot. It's a 50-50 shot with prospects. Now, there's guys that, come along like Paul Skeens and Bryce Harper, where it's just like, yeah, they're going to be good. You don't trade them. They're going to be elite in the major leagues. But then there's a lot of guys who have the upside that get rated really highly, but then they don't pan out. I think about a guy, and some of y'all might know this name, drafted by the Phillies, Mickey Moniak, who played for the Angels recently. That was a guy that was rated super highly as a prospect, drafted in the first round, I believe, by the Phillies, and is not at any level like what he was projected to be. And I'm not hating on Mickey Moniak. There's a number of different prospects like that get super high ratings. They get hyped up and they don't cut it in the major leagues. That's why I would rather trade for a sure shot major leaguer unless you've got Paul Skeens, unless you've got Bryce Harper or Mike Trout or one of those guys where it's just hit you, smack you in the face, obvious they're going to be good at the big league level, and they're going to be good right away. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Paul Skeens, good right away. There's no long runway for those dudes. They were immediately impacting their teams. So for me, I am willing to trade prospects to win now and maximize what you have with Jacob deGrom and Nate Eovaldi. They're not getting any younger. Rocker is never going to be an ace. I don't know if he is going to pan out as an ace. I think he'll end up being a decent pitcher in this league. I don't know about ace, though. deGrom, I think he could have gone more today. TPD, think you're being a little hard on him, but I think deGrom could go 7. He could go longer, but why push him right now? You're not pushing Jacob deGrom right now. So anybody that's yapping about deGrom's innings, you don't want to stress Jacob deGrom right now if you don't have to. Like what? We're going to make him throw 7 or 8 innings just to prove a point that he can? That makes little to no sense to me. You need to try and limit these guys knowing that they've got a long season ahead of them. Keep going. 30-minute half inning. I do agree. deGrom probably goes another inning if it's not a 12-0 ball game. You have no reason to throw Jacob deGrom in a 12-0 ball game. Justin, I'm with you. I think that's his basement. I think Rocker's floor is really good long reliever. I think that the ceiling is probably 2 or 3 starter. I don't know if he's going to end up being an ace, and that's just a hard thing for any minor leaguer to achieve. It's not like aces grow on trees. They don't. So I think his high end is probably a number 2, number 3 starter in this league in a rotation. But the floor, to me, good long reliever. I can go with you there. We keep going. I don't want to get rid of Carter either. I don't think Carter is going to be on the trade block. I think that a guy like Leote definitely will be. Maybe Dustin Harris you could put on the trade block. There are some guys in AAA I think you could put on the trade block. There are some guys down at AA. We talked about Rosario. We talked about Osuna. I think you could put those guys on the trade block. I don't know if you're going to be trading a guy like Evan Carter, and I don't really know what the market is for Evan Carter right now either. I'd imagine there are some teams, because there always are, that are willing to take flyers on these players, but I don't know. Keep going. Have to appreciate your spirit. Do other Rangers fans do TikTok also? Y'all tell me. I don't know. And honestly, I'm not saying this like as a humble brag or anything, but I'm working so much just to get all of my reels and my content out. I can't say I do a lot of perusing for other Rangers content. I don't see a lot of people doing what I'm doing, talking post game and doing comments, questions. I mean, but if there is somebody, I want to support them. So y'all let me know. Drop their handle in the chat so I can check them out. I do follow Rangers Savant, Rangers Nation. Of course, I bet all y'all know Rangers Nation. They're awesome. Rangers Savant is awesome, though, too. I love that guy. Puts out super high-quality stuff. And I like that he gets into a little bit more of the X's and O's of baseball, so to speak. A little bit more on the analytics side of things, which I appreciate. But those are the two guys that I probably follow the most beyond just like the usual beat reporters like Kennedy Landry and Evan Grant and Jeff Wilson and all those guys. Jared Sandler, of course. But I don't know if there's a lot of people doing this. That's actually why I started this. Like Jared Sandler would occasionally get on, and he would get on X, formerly Twitter, and he would take questions, and he would kind of occasionally do like a 30-minute post-game show. I'm like, this is fun. But, you know, he can't get to every comment and every question. And I just said to myself, I kind of want to try something like that. And here we are. And like I said earlier, y'all help keep this thing going. Gonna have to pop off Seager. He's hurt way too much. I don't think they're doing anything with Corey Seager. I think Corey Seager is probably going to be a Ranger for life. It would shock me if they traded Corey Seager. I don't see that happening. Yeah, I think Carter, a Cowboy slime ball, I think Carter's probably going to be up by June at the latest. And I think at some point you're just going to say to, what more do you need to see from him? He spent a month plus in the minor leagues. Like, what are you waiting for with Carter? Like, sink or swim, dude. You had your month down at AAA. Now it's time to see what you got in the big leagues again. Keep going. Justin, yes, sir. He did throw awesome tonight. Antonio, Leote needs to start learning Korean. Leote might end up over in Asia at some point. I think he's got probably a few more major league years left, but at some point. Although we had apparently a lot of teams interested in Leote in the offseason. For whatever reason, we decided to hang on to him. I don't know. Do I honestly think Adolis isn't on PED? No. Adolis would have been popped a long time ago if he was really on PEDs. I'm sure they tested Adolis a ton. So does he look super jacked, ripped, huge? Yes, but the dude would have got popped for PEDs a while back. I'm sure they tested him like 9 million times during that postseason run. Moniac mentioned, yes, sir. Yeah, Kellenic, another one. Again, prospects. I love looking at prospects. I think I've told y'all in recent years, I've gotten more and more into baseball prospects, learning the names of guys on the high A team, the double A team, and the triple A team. I've really enjoyed getting into it. I still have not wavered in my stance. I am willing to trade a prospect any day to get better right now if you have a championship caliber team. And I do believe the Rangers have enough dudes to be a World Series contender. And if that is the case for your team, be willing to give up a couple of your higher level prospects to get a player that can produce for you right now in your quest for a World Series. Keep going. Zunino. Yup. More. Cole Reagans. Look, for every Cole Reagans, though, I totally get the Cole Reagans argument. For every Cole Reagans, there's probably 25 prospects that don't work out. I would love to see the stats on that. It's probably not easily researchable, but for every Cole Reagans trade, there's about 25 other ones where the prospects become absolutely nothing. Like, y'all remember when we traded Justin Smoke in the Cliff Lee deal? I know I'm going back a little ways, but they're not too far, 15 years or whatever. When we traded Justin Smoke in the Cliff Lee deal, like, Justin Smoke was a pretty highly touted prospect in the Rangers system at that point. Some of the Mariners fans that are hanging out, y'all know Justin Smoke. So for every guy that becomes Cole Reagans-esque, there's about 25 Justin Smokes where it just never works out. It's not like Justin Smoke was the worst baseball player ever, but he didn't live up to all of the hype. Super sick last name, though. Justin Smoke. What a good baseball name. Like, sometimes the gods just gift you with something special. Justin Smoke, baseball player. What a name. What a name. Shoot. Look, I think you've got to be willing to trade the prospects to get better now if you've got a legit shot. Look, if you're teetering, hanging in the balance, you're not certain to make playoffs. Yeah, you don't want to sell the farm. But if it's looking pretty good that you're going to be playing baseball in October, yeah, unless you've got a Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Paul Skeens, and Carnett in your system, they're on the block. And I don't even know if Walcott or Teodo are on the levels of those three players that I just named, but I don't think that you try and trade those guys. That would have to be like you're getting multiple years of control of somebody elite at the trade deadline. Like you've got 2 or 3 years left of that player. You would have to be getting control and a really, really elite MLB ready now player if you're going to give up Walcott and or Teodo. Leote is back in business. I don't know if I'm ready to say it yet, but I love what I saw from him, minus the little league can't catch a ground ball out in the outfield error thing, whatever that was. But by and large, Leote, nice game. 4 times on base. Look, the Reagans deal was worth it. We won a World Series. I'll say that every time. Yes, it sucks watching Cole Reagan's deal in Kansas City. I don't know if we would have held on to him if he would have figured it out. I do think Kansas City messed with his mechanics, and it worked out really, really solidly. I don't know if Cole Reagans becomes what he is today in a Texas Rangers uniform. I think that the coaching mechanics tweak made a big difference. I really do. I do think Josh Smith probably hangs around. He's just too valuable. You can play the guy everywhere. Why would you want to trade him? He can play any position. So that to me is definitely a guy that I would consider untouchable. I would not want to be trading Josh Smith. I love that he can play all over the field. He's a good hitter up there at the plate, contact hitter. He works walks. I like Josh Smith a lot, and I don't know if you want him on the trading block. He wouldn't be on mine, that's for sure. That error by Taveras ended up being an outfield assist. Thank goodness, right? Thank goodness. It worked out. I don't know why Leote struggles so much with ground balls. I really don't. The Rangers do need to figure out how to win away games. Rangers are really, really good at home. Really good at home. I think they've lost, 3 or 4 games at home, and they've won like 11 or 12. Really good at home. Absolutely. AL West is looking tight. I think it's going to be tight all the way through the season. I don't think anybody's running away with the division. My prediction was Rangers are going to win it by 2 or 3 games. I think it's going to be tight all season long. 3 losses at home. Make sense? What are my thoughts on Higgy? I do love what I've seen from Higgy. I know he had a little bit of a rough night up at the plate, 1 for 6, did have that big bases clearing double at the end. For a time, he was the only Ranger that hadn't gotten a hit yet. But I absolutely love what I'm seeing from Higgy so far. Would like it if he threw out a few more base runners. Rangers aren't too good at doing that, but I do think that signing him was the right move. And Jonah Heim is hitting well too. I'm actually a big fan of the double catcher tandem in the lineup. I think it's working. I would continue to play both of those guys in the lineup together as much as I can. I think we're better as a team when both Heim and Higgy are hitting in the lineup. I do. By the way, appreciate all y'all hanging out on Instagram. I know we had a few people that joined in. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I know a couple of people followed as well. TikTok, a bunch of people have followed on TikTok. If you're not following right now, hit that follow button. What are you doing? Come on now. What more do you need? Come hang out. We do this all the time. Brody, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that follow. We're here almost every night talking baseball, talking Rangers baseball. It's great. Tonight may be the most walks the offense has had this season. It might be the most that they've had in multiple seasons. How many walks did we have tonight? It was something crazy, man. Let's see. That's A's lineup. We had 9 walks tonight. 9 walks. It's got to have been a while since we drew 9 walks in a game. Antonio, I thought it was 4 losses because I thought I saw 10-3, and then we lost last night. So I think it was 10-4. Now, is it 11-4? All right. Close, right? I'm probably close. I'll go look it up. Good thing we won't face Logan Gilbert this weekend. I feel like we actually had like a decent game against Logan Gilbert, though, last time out, didn't we? I think it was one of those games where our pitching was just a little off, but it felt like last time out we actually hit Logan Gilbert decently. Like maybe I'm just dreaming that, but I felt like we actually got to him a little bit. I'm not saying we dominated him, but I'm just saying like he didn't shut us out like 1 or 2 hits. Like we actually put up a couple of runs against him. That's what I remember. But look, I'm not going to complain. I surely don't want to have to face him. I think he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So the Rangers are 11-4 at home, 5-10 on the road, 10-14 against teams that are above 500. So I think that's kind of an important stat. And I'm going to do some quick math here. Hang on just one sec, y'all. You guys are going to like this. I'm not trying to build this up for nothing here. So, okay, there's 1. There's 2. So there are only 2 teams in baseball that have faced more teams above 500 than the Rangers. The Cubs are one of them. And then the other team is the Giants. The Giants and the Cubs are the only 2 teams that have faced more teams above 500 than Texas. Texas has faced 24 games against teams that are above 500. The Cubs have 29 games. Only one of the Cubs games this season was not against a team that had a 500 record or better. The Giants, 26 games against teams above 500. They played 29. So my point in bringing that up, we played a lot of good teams. And to be above 500, playing a lot of good teams is impressive, and it is something that we need to take note of. The schedule does get easier at times. The Rangers have had one of the tougher schedules so far in Major League Baseball. Something to consider. Something to consider. We need to take pitchers to a 2-strike at bat. Look, we need to work the count more. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Pitch count does matter. And when you can get pitch count up, things happen like they did tonight. Lopez needed 60 pitches to get 6 outs, the A's opposing starting pitcher. So I totally agree. And taking 9 walks total in a game, that'll do it. Absolutely, that'll do it. All right, y'all. What else do we got? Philip, I wish, but I'm out in Vegas. I've lived out here for about 15 years out in Las Vegas. I love it out here. Miss going to games in Arlington. I go to a lot of games that are out here on the West Coast. I'll really enjoy when the Rangers come to Las Vegas, when the A's move here. But for right now, we go to games in LA, San Diego. About once every other year, I make it back to Arlington. I wouldn't say every year, but about once every other year. So when I do make it back, I'll try and let y'all know. I would love to go back to a game sooner rather than later. Last game I went to was game 1 of the World Series. I would love to be going to more games, but you know what? I'll wait a few more years for the A's to move to Vegas, and then I'll be having some Rangers games in my backyard once again. It's going to be awesome. We did need this. Absolutely. We needed this win. I totally agree with that. All right, y'all. Let's preview tomorrow, and then we got to get off. We've been going a long time. So let's check out tomorrow. Against Severino, Rangers. Here are the starters that I think are going to be in the game. I'm not going to read all the bench guys' numbers, but Berger, 4 for 13, 5 for 13 with 2 home runs, 385 average against Severino and 13 ABs. Doley, 2 for 5, lifetime against Severino. Heim, 1 for 8. Josh Young, 1 for 5. Wyatt Langford, 1 for 3 with the homer. Jock Peterson, 2 for 5 with the homer. Kevin Pillar, I don't think we're going to see Pillar. By the way, he wasn't playing tonight because of back tightness. I was like, why isn't Kevin Pillar playing? It's another lefty starter. Back tightness, but apparently Pillar will be back in the lineup soon. Next, Marcus Simeon, 2 for 17. Josh Smith, 2 for 4 with a bomb. Josh Smith. And then Leote, 2 for 6. Against Evo, the best hitter is Soderstrom, 2 for 3. Urshela, 7 for 21. Langoliers is 3 for 9 with the homer. Butler is 1 for 5. Blade, 1 for 9. Andujar, 2 for 12. So Evo has been pretty successful against A's batters. I like what I'm seeing. I feel pretty good about the game tomorrow. I really do. Andy, yes, sir. 15 without a homer. Very, very impressive. Hey, thanks for sharing the live. Hey, in Red Horizons, appreciate you. Thanks for sharing the live. Yeah, I agree. We need to get better at small ball and situational hitting. Leote dropped down a beautiful bunt today. Like, that needs to be a huge part of his game moving forward. And again, it makes me even more mad. Why did you have Kyle Higashioka try and bunt against the Giants in that Little League walk-off game? Leote was right there on the bench. Come on now. So you're saying smash the Burger home run prop bet tomorrow? Wouldn't be a bad bet. Burger with 2 bombs against Severino in his career wouldn't be a bad bet. Kevin Pillar, 2 bombs as well. That would be a sneaky one if Kevin Pillar actually gets the start. I don't know if he will with a right-handed starter. Josh Smith has a bomb. Wyatt Langford with the bomb. Jock Peterson with the bomb. A lot of home run prop smashing maybe tomorrow. All right, y'all. I think we're out of here. We've been going long enough. I am looking forward, Big Game James, to the weekend as well. We'll see if we can get some payback for what y'all did to us in Seattle, but it's going to be fun hanging out. It always is. Appreciate you hanging out, Big Game James. Thank you, sir. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Hope you have a great rest of the week. It's only Tuesday. Man, it feels like a Wednesday. It feels like it should be later in the week, but whatever. Have a great rest of the Tuesday night, Wednesday ahead. Appreciate this compliment, by the way. Thank you so much. Y'all are too nice, too kind. I'm very grateful for the support, all the likes, all the comments, the people that have followed, sharing videos. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Come hang out again tomorrow. We'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully talking about another Rangers win. Love y'all. Have a good Tuesday night. Good Wednesday tomorrow. We'll have a video out during the day tomorrow. One of our shorts or reels. I don't know what it's going to be on yet. I got to stew on it for a little bit. But we'll have a video out tomorrow before the game, and then we'll go live after the game. So let's keep hanging. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.